Good morning, adventurers! Welcome to another Explore the Adventure. This is Kyle, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the 5th time that I've experienced the vibrations, which was this morning. This was a really weird event. This was actually a really scary event, not because I saw anything. By the way, today's a Thursday. I think it's March 14th, March 15th. Somewhere around that time. But I woke up at around 2 in the morning. I went to the bathroom, and when I went to bed earlier that night, everything was fine. Everything was good. But for some weird reason, when I woke up at around 2, for some reason, I can't help but feel a feeling of deep fear. Like something's there watching me in the room. I don't know what it is, but I can't sleep, and I hate it. I can't move. I can move, but I'm just very scared. I'm filled with terror. And whatever this thing is, it's just not really helping me fall asleep. So I was forced to just lay there. And whenever I'd close my eyes, I would feel uncomfortable, because I'd feel like something was there looking at me, and there's really nothing I can do about it other than wait for the feeling to pass. Because sometimes whenever I experience stuff like this, the feeling won't go away until, I guess, like 4 or 5 in the morning. Then I'll literally feel like kind of a lift, like the air is cleared, it's not as heavy, and I will feel a lot better. But anyways, so because whatever this is, maybe it's my subconscious mind, maybe it actually is something, but whatever this was keeping me awake, and I was forced to just lay there, kind of with my eyes half open, kind of half closed, trying to fall asleep, but at the same time trying to stay awake. And what I didn't realize what I was doing was I was actually staying conscious while my physical body was falling asleep, because I was just so tired. I wanted sleep. And what's interesting is that I started drifting downwards. And I think I experienced a little kind of miniature dream. It was like a mixture of a dream and a daydream, because I was still kind of awake. So as I'm drifting downwards, I feel my body change. I feel that I hit that point of relaxation to where I can induce the vibrations. Now, what's interesting about this is that this is the first time that I experienced vibrations without having to go into the dream state. And I'm realizing that the dream state was just a crutch. And then if I can master this, then I can start just inducing the vibrations more naturally without actually having to fall asleep or to dream. Now, if I do lucid dream, or if I do dream and go into the vibrations, that's a bonus now. But basically, I sunk down in consciousness, and right when I felt that moment, now it's a certain peculiar body feeling that's really recognizable. Like, it's a feeling of deep relaxation, but at the same time, you're conscious enough to know, hey, I can focus on my third eye now. That's what I did. That's what I did again. I just focused on the third eye area. I didn't have to elevate my consciousness like what I do in lucid dreams. I focused on this area, and I opened it up, and basically, bam, I felt the vibrations. I felt the vibrations, and this is the 5th time I experienced it. And now it's definitely recognizable. I'm becoming more and more familiar with it. What I forgot to do this time when I experienced these vibrations was that I remember making notes in my journal about how I wanted to actually move the vibrations down my body, throughout my legs, throughout my arms, just to get a feel for it. That's kind of what Robert Monroe talked about in his book, but I didn't do that. Instead, what I thought about was one of my friends, because I wanted to go visit my friend just to verify this. So this is probably the worst time to try playing around with astral projection, especially when I feel like there's some shit in my room. But anyways, I try to imagine my friend. I see his face in my mind's eye while the vibrations are going on, and I try to focus on his face. But what scared me was that as I was looking at his face, it started to become distorted. It started to kind of like melt and twist in a way. So then I just dropped it. I dropped the thought and I just let the vibrations continue to go. So then I let it continue to go. And then after it started to fade, I felt for the physical. And it still felt like my normal physical body. But I was in the room and I didn't get up. I didn't even leave the bed. I was just laying there. And it's weird. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but I guess it's because I'm still learning how to move around in my astral body that my mind in the astral body isn't exactly fast. It isn't exactly fully conscious. Imagine being drunk, but you're sober. If you can even imagine that. That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like a part of me wasn't aware enough, but a part of me was aware enough to see around me. And here's the weird thing. I remember like twisting and turning in my bed. I remember like lifting my hand up. I remember feeling the texture of the sheets. I remember looking at my hand, and as I was looking at my hand and moving it back and forth, it was kind of phasing in and out, kind of blinking. And I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was my vision playing tricks on me, or if that was actually my astral body phasing in and out of like physical sight. But basically, yeah, I remembered like waving my hand back and forth, twisting around, and then before I knew it, when I woke up, or when I became conscious of being in my body again, well, I mean, I already was in my body, but what's weird is that one moment I'm moving around and stuff like that in my bed. I feel like I'm moving the sheets. I don't know how to perceive it, but the next moment, when I have that moment where it just feels like you get that click, you kind of feel like, not a literal click, but it kind of feels like everything's back to normal. I was laying in my bed, the sheets are up to my neck, my arms are at my side, and the sheets aren't ruffled at all, even though I felt like I was moving them around, even though I felt like I literally lifted my hand out of the sheets. But when everything came back to normal, yeah, I'm just laying there, kind of like in the soldier position, like eyes closed. Well, yeah, I opened them, but I don't know what to make of that. Again, there's nothing that I can verify here. There's nothing that tells me if I actually projected or not, or if I was having a hard time getting out of my body. My consciousness in the astrals isn't that up to date yet. I guess I just have to keep practicing. This is only the 5th time that I've experienced this, but I'm gonna keep documenting as I go along. And hey, when everything came to, I noticed that it was 3:26 in the morning. So when I tried to go back to sleep, it was around 2 in the morning. When I woke up again, it was 3:26. So that's about 1.5 hours. And 1.5 hours apparently is one entire sleep cycle. Apparently we're supposed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 sleep cycles every night. I'm not too sure. Anyways, so I woke up again. I woke up around 3:26, and I still felt uncomfortable, but it wasn't until around 4:30 that I just became tired enough to just fall asleep again. Even though I felt uncomfortable, I felt a little bit more comfortable than I did before. Now, what's interesting is that if I was doing some form of projection while I was still in the bed, then I didn't see anything in my room, at least nothing that I noticed. And if I did do some form of projection, then it really does feel like you're still in your physical body, except that you're kind of moving around and your physical body is, still there. That's if that is the case. I'm still exploring this. I'm still trying to figure out the mysteries of astral projection. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here now. I'm almost at work. Thanks for joining me today. If you happen to like what I spoke about, or if you have any questions, or if you want to hear me talk about anything else, feel free to just comment below. Feel free to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace.